Good fellas, welcome in this new life. It's October 22nd, and I'm very happy to finally be ready for a very exciting topic, which will be using your pen or your fountain pen on a daily basis. So I think that we collect pens and we love our writing instruments. We love to have them, but we also have to find reasons in this digital era how to use them. And therefore, today is going to be all about this. I am looking forward to all of you joining the live streaming, and I hope you can all hear me well. Just want to make sure where you guys are all from. Really wondering to hear about all of this. Please write in the chat. We're about to start this off, and cannot wait to hear from all of you in the chat. Before we start, very important to tell you that on the 7th of November, I've mentioned this in the last live streaming, we're going to have a very special show during Fountain Pen Day. Fountain Pen Day is every year on the first Friday of November. And this year, on the 7th of November, starting at 4 p.m., Zurich time zone, Central European time zone, we're going to have a 6-hour live streaming from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. here with guests. And we're going to have an amazing lineup of beautiful topics. We're going to have guests. We're going to talk about all of this in the live streaming next week. That's when we're going to talk about this special Fountain Pen Day topic that is happening. Let me know if you guys are here, if where you're joining from. I see that we have Alex Ref from Spain, Mallorca. We have Bodan Ovsienko, which is from Ukraine. He's here every week. We're very grateful for that. We're about to start. We're ready to start. As I was telling you, Fountain Pen Day show on 7th of November. Save the date. Put it in your calendar. Starting at 4 p.m. Central European time zone up until 10 p.m. We're going to have an amazing lineup of guests, of topics. There's going to be Sandro Cazzato joining. Manuel will join in this show. We're going to show you novelties. We're going to discuss about topics with collectors, with people from other industries. It's going to be super, super exciting. Hello, Juicy Louise from Cornwall. GMG Turcotte from Quebec. So Gilles from du Quebec. From Singapore, Piet Bua, great to have you. So, we love to collect pens. Yes. But what is this collecting all about? It's just about having and hoarding pens somewhere and having them lined up one next to each other? Well, of course, no. It's all about how we use our writing instruments. It's all about the incredible things that we can do in this incredible time with our pens. And we're going to start with a few ways how I think that pens are extremely useful. And by the way, I would love to also hear your thoughts in the chat. It's very important. This is, of course, a place where we get the chance to discuss, to speak. I'm always going to look into the chat, which is right here next to me. And whenever you come up with something, I'm happy to integrate that into this discussion, into this live streaming. From Atlanta, hello. Great to have you here. Suzum Dance is here too. Fantastic. We're about 25 people right now. That's amazing. So, first, using your pen on a daily basis next to owning it. Well, one thing that I'm truly, truly enjoying, honestly, I have to tell you, and yes, it requires a little bit that you might have a tailleur or that you have a suit, is wearing the pen. You can see it in my outer pocket. Instead of having a pocket square, you could actually even have a pocket square and then the pen in the front. But I love to wear my pen, and you cannot imagine how many people come and just ask me about it. So, now, especially the Gatsby of Mont Blanc is a piece that's very important. So people come and say, "Hey, what is that?" But there's other pieces which have beautiful clips. It doesn't matter which clip it has, which pen it is. you are carrying a little piece of jewelry, but also something that you use, that you can use. You can pull it out in the right moment. You can pull it out and use it for to write down a note or whatever it might be. So I love to do that. And honestly, I wear one here in the outer pocket, and usually I also have one in my inside pocket. And sometimes when I don't have my jacket, I just carry it here in my shirt like that. That looks good too, feels also good. I mean, it's not too heavy. So sometimes I even have it in my t-shirt like that on the top. And so one way how one can use a pen in some way, or one how one can make use of a pen, is by wearing it also like a piece of jewelry, like a statement piece, like a conversation starter, like something that is part of your outfit. So this is one way that I personally really like. I also find it, it makes me want to buy more pens in order to match them with the right suit, with the right shades of colors that I'm actually wearing. So it is, I think, a very important thing, because a watch, for example, we also wear it, yes, because for the craft, for the time. Don't tell me you wear a watch for the time, because the time is here on our iPhone or on the MacBook or on so many places, but not on the wristwatch. But it's also about making a statement with the watch you wear, or having something that matches your outfit. It has become a statement piece. It has become a conversation starter. If you have a Patek Nautilus on your wrist, or you have a Rolex, or you have an independent watchmaker, or a Vacheron Constantin 222, or whatever it might be, it becomes something that people see. It says something about you. It says something about your style. Yes, it says also something about your status. We don't have to go around that. If you're driving a nice car, it says something about you, and it communicates something about you. It's just part of the game. I do not think that you guys are doing it for this purpose, but this purpose also flows into the reasons why we love such an amazing um, product. Let me see what you've written here. Look good, feel good, write good. I love that. May I ask how you find traveling with a fountain pen? Every on flight with the change in pressure. There's no change in pressure nowadays in the flights, honestly, because the cabins are pressurized in it. So doesn't matter how high you go unless you're going really, really, really high. But I don't think that the planes nowadays are going that high. Um, they're actually pressurized, so they don't leak. I usually carry them in my pen pouch, whether it's the Mont Blanc or the Pilot pen pouch. One thing is, make sure that they're looking upward. That's the important thing. They have to look outward, so they tend to leak less, because there's a little bit of a pressure change, and if the pen is not filled completely, then the pressure might be felt a bit into the barrel. So that's definitely one way. As that looks like a set of golf clubs behind yourself, what pen would you take to the golf? Of course. Well, of course, I would say I would take a Pelican Golf. We actually have three sets in the boutique. Beautiful, beautiful set of pens, fountain pen and ballpoint. Great, 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 great. Al Jawad, great to have you here. Eric Garcia, great to have you here. Next one, how to use your pen. I repeat, the goal is not only to collect pens, not only to hoard pens, not only to have a collection of 50 pens, but then it's also what you do with those pens. And today in this live streaming, we're discussing about what are the use cases for such a pen. Why does a pen nowadays in this digital era in 2025 make sense, and maybe even make sense way beyond what it has made sense in the past? So number two is meetings. Okay, you can use your pens, your fountain pen in meetings. Now, imagine when I go into a meeting, when I step into a meeting, right now I'm carrying my Tomo River notebook a lot. I go, I open my notebook, I have my pen, and while I'm talking with the people, I'm here and I'm writing by hand. This is very respectful, way more respectful than having a digital device or having a MacBook in front of you and typing while someone is talking. I mean, it almost looks like is this guy actually working on a project of him while I'm talking, or is he answering an email? Honestly, there is also the temptation to answer to an email while someone is talking in a meeting. So having your notepad, and I hear that a lot from people in the tech industry, they appreciate people who go into a meeting, even if they work in the tech industry, with a paper and a pen. Not yet always with a high-end pen, but that's what we're working on. We're working on generating a perceived value and an awareness where people say, if I'm writing by hand, then I want to do that with a pen that I truly, truly appreciate. So meetings, fountain pen on paper, it's very respectful, it's very beautiful, it also says something about you, it communicates something to the people who are on the meeting table. And personally, that's something I find very important. Whatever I do, I want to make sure that it's saying something about myself. I have just read something in the chat here which I really, really love. Let me go check that out. Eric Garcia is writing, doodle on a phone call is for me the most basic. I love that. Thank you for mentioning that because I have not written that down. Yes, I totally agree with you. I love to use my fountain pen and doodle. But when I doodle, that's the funny part. When I doodle, I don't doodle on my notebook, which I try to keep very clean and very like purposeful for things that I need to remember and I need to look into. But I always have a notepad, whether it's our Style of Zug notepad or it's the notepad of Tome River. I have the notepad next to me, and that's the one that I just use to doodle. Sometimes it's really an anti-stress. Eric, I'm sure that that's how you do it too. So I'm also like I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone and I'm like just doodling, doing things, drawing lines, writing my name, doing my signature. It helps me concentrate. It helps me to focus. And I don't know. It's just a beautiful part of owning a nice pen because you feel like when you have a nice pen and nice paper, and of course always a nice ink, you are also constantly finding reason why you should write something. And writing something nowadays in this digital era is more important than ever because it finally disconnects you from the digital devices and devices that have notification and that have push messages, and it brings you into something that helps you concentrate and be there present on that piece of paper and create realities for the first time from your brain into the real world. So I love that and I appreciate it. Let me see what other messages do we have here before we move on to the next way how to use your pen. Alejandro Brech. Hello from Yucatan, Mexico. In case of the Moctezuma, do you recommend use it or should I just keep it on display at the office? Because on a meeting, sometimes it feels weird. If you ask me, I am all into flexing that stuff. Let's put it this way. Now, I love to use my things. This is also a very loud pen. Maybe not as loud as the Moctezuma, but it's also a pen that makes a statement. People ask me about it, and as long as you're not someone who really flexes, say, yeah, I have a $3,000-$4,000 pen, then it's something very cultural. You're one of the few ones right now in the world who are going to get into an office and have such a pen. So honestly, people will be there, and of course they'll ask, and maybe you even see them saying, "What is that?" But hey, when I started in watches, trust me, when I was telling people that I was selling watches for 5,000 francs, and 5,000 francs is not even that much because nowadays we talk about buying watches for 30, 40, 50, 100, 500,000. People were looking at me like I was mad. And they were telling me, who needs a watch for 5,000 francs? So the awareness of people changes over time, but the way how they perceive you when they see you with such a piece, that remains intact. It doesn't matter. Maybe first time when you do something that is not as common as other people, of course it feels like, okay, this is kind of weird, but hey, it's just part of who you are. It makes you distinct. It makes you a distinctive person next to other people who maybe are typing on their MacBook or writing on their digital devices or just using any random pen. So they're not doing something on purpose. So I think it tells sometimes something about someone, when they're not using a pen on purpose. So interesting question. Thank you very much for this one. AP Kilby is saying, as you mentioned, people in the tech industry, what pen would you recommend for those people, someone who would normally consider using a pen? What pen would you recommend for those people, someone who wouldn't normally consider using a pen? It depends if they want to go for a fountain pen or for something else. Um, it really depends. Like, so, fountain pen is not always the right choice for everyone because some people just need time to get into that kind of mindset. Some other are like, no, if I do it, then I want to do it with a nice fountain pen and then get into it. To start, I think that if you want to start like high end and have a pen that you're going to cherish for your whole life, Sailor King of Pen, Namiki Yukari Royale, Grafo Faber-Castell Magnum. Actually, I wanted to mention this later on, but we're already a bit talking about it. Otherwise, just go for a nice Caran d'Ache Le Mans, which I personally really, really love, or a nice Caran d'Ache Le Mans ballpoint, or even a nice classic ballpoint or roller ball of Grafo Faber-Castell, or any Mont Blanc roller ball. Those are great everyday writers. They're classy. They also give you an enhanced writing experience because of how they feel, of the size, also of the refill, and that's indeed beautiful. Then Al Jawad, in meetings, I make sure I write my notes using a fountain pen on a notebook, never a notepad. Writing on a notebook means I'm writing something that will always be in my bookshelf. A notepad isn't permanent. I love it. Um, Sumra Subramaniam Ravichandran. I try to buy shirts with pockets. More difficult than it sounds, I know. So I can carry my fountain pens, but most of the time I have to carry a bag or something to keep my pen and notebook. Yeah, that is a bit of a downside, and I understand. Since I'm a pen collector, I've always considered shirts with pockets, even if it's not something that I personally find hyper stylish. But I am reconsidering buying shirts with a pocket just for the sake of putting a pen inside. So, we might bring back a very nice 90s style kind of look by having pockets on our shirts. What else do we have? My own opinion is use your pens, even if I had one of Mont Blanc high artistry one, I still ink it and use it. Interesting. Other basic daily basis for using photo pen, note a note for your loved one. Okay, wait, give me a second, guys. You're mentioning everything already. I love it. I love it. Keep on going. How about Esterbrook? Not our cup of tea. Morning from California. Hey, California. I wish I'd been California. I miss Los Angeles. Can you touch on Maki pens in the Yukari size? I like oversized pen generally. Would the Yukari size be too small? That's not something that makes part of this topic, but let me answer real quick to you. For a long time, the Yukari collection, I was kind of snobbing it, too small. But I'm reconsidering it, and I think that the art on the Yukari pens are very nice. Now, the one I would never buy are the Nippon series. Those are honestly cheap, and Namiki has stopped producing them. But the Yukari, they're pretty nice, especially if you go for some Rodin and some nice maquillé. So yes, they're rather small. They're a bit like a Mont Blanc Classique, the 145 size, not the Le Grand, but the smaller size. Up to you. I can use any type of pen. I'm the kind of person who adapts itself to the pen. So, next one. Next way how you can use your pen on a daily basis is by making creative drafts. Whenever I am doing something that needs to completely change my mentality or my business, or, I have a new idea, then it's always with pen on paper, never on an iPad, never on a MacBook. On a MacBook, I do things that are related to efficiency. With this, I change the course of my own life, of my own story, of my own history. I'm writing my own story. So everything that is creative, everything that is enhancing my life, setting down goals, writing down goals, things like that are always strictly related with my pen and my notebook. So this is just another way how, sometimes I arrive home and I feel like, wow, I need to write down my goal for the year. I need to write down a goal for the month or for the week. And it's always on paper. And if it's not on paper, if it's on my notes, then it's not real. Then it's not happening. When it's on paper, it's happening. It's real. And therefore, a pen is just the only tool you can use to change the course of your own life and to change even history of mankind. And trust me, even Mark Zuckerberg, even everyone, the first idea they've put it on paper. Doesn't matter what they've written. The first idea you put on paper because it's the easiest way how your spirit, your creative spirit, can express itself. Pens. Powerful tool. Not only items and objects of status, but real items that change your life. This is not like a vinyl. It's not memorabilia. It's not something that has to do with nostalgia. It has to do with us being humans and having the necessity to leave a mark, having the necessity to show and to make sure that we existed and to make sure that we have left a mark in this life. And I think this is just incredibly powerful. Kilby, as we use our pens daily, do we consider them fidget tools as well? Something in your hands to fiddle while with. I love it. I love it. Thanks for mentioning that. Thanks for mentioning that. You see how I'm using my pen. Definitely one of the use I had not written down next to doodling, and that's why I love being on these live streamings, because now we're 50 people in the live stream. I love it, and we get the chance to interact and speak about the ways how we can use these pens. And you are bringing such an amazing added value, and I'm so grateful for this. Yes, it's a powerful tool. Now, just look at it. The pen next to the watch with the suit. It's a fidget tool. It's an anti-stress. It's something that you hold in your hand and that you can use to gesticulate, to make a point, and it enhances your point. You can tell me what you want. It enhances your point. I see when people are in front of me and I have and I'm talking like this, and the people in front of me doesn't own a pen like that. Now, we are not, better or worse because we own a certain product. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm only talking about enhancement. What can I do for that additional 5% more power? Not power in that sense, but like impact, more impact than power. I apologize. This is my English language. That sometimes I need to find the right words for a bit more impact. And for me, having a pen like that or any other pen that I own, and this is my collection, it's just how I love it. So thank you very much for mentioning this. I love it. All right. So then, next, very important, and I'm going to tell you something. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at this next point. Let's see if any one of you can guess the next point that I'm about to mention. I'm going to wait here in the chat. Everyone that is here, please. What is the next point that I am not good at, but I think is probably the best way how we can use our fountain pens or our pens? I'm waiting for all of you to join on the live chat. Hope that wasn't too loud. All right, Eric. Amazing. You got it. Journaling. Yes. Journaling. Al Jawad, journaling. Thank you so much for mentioning it. Amazing. Eric, you had a few tries there. Al Jawad went straight into journaling. No, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys participating. Yes, I agree. Journaling. I am not good at journaling. Documenting one's life. I love that. Yeah, but journaling is all about documenting one's life, and it's also about releasing all those impressions that we get during the day. And listen, guys, during the day nowadays in this era, we get so many more impressions than 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Just look at now. The live stream, the phone. If I had an Apple Watch, the Apple Watch. We are bombarded with informations. And then you go on Instagram and you have fake news, and you have on you go on Facebook even more fake news, and then or you got just real news also, but are very negative news, way more than when we used to watch, the news at 8 p.m. in the evening, and we would see some things, and then we would get back at our daily life. Somehow we need to sweat out all those information. And the way how we can sweat out all those information, and I'm telling you that because I did try to journal, and I still am journaling as good as I can, but I do not always find the time. I have to make up some time for myself to journal. And sometimes I'm like, "Oof, I don't know what to say." But journaling is like going at the gym. Does anyone feel like, oh yeah, I should go to the gym right now? I don't feel like I should go to the gym right now. But if I go and if I do it 5 days in a row, I'm gonna come back and feel way stronger and sharper and better than when I used to feel 5 days ago. So what I want to tell you with that is that journaling is not one of those easy things to do, but it's definitely one of those things that we should be doing in order to have clarity of mind. It's a type of meditation. It's how we slow down. It's how we connect finally our brain with our heart, with our motoric skills, and we put things on paper that we felt. The more we put things on paper, the more we release all the information that we have received, and the more we are in peace and we have clarity of mind. And I think that this is definitely one of the best way how we can use our pens on a daily basis. Now, let me get back at what you guys are writing here in the chat. I always buy a new notebook thinking this will be the one that I will use to journal every day. Eric, you and I are the same person. I know that. Zorab, I love the process of picking a pen in the morning to match my outfit and the types of meetings, interactions I plan on having that day. You got it. You got it. You're a game changer. You're a good fella. This is exactly how it should be. And that's exactly how it will be in the future when people will start understanding the power and the beauty of fine writing instruments. So wonderful. Journaling, I think you meant journaling, Alejandro, not journalism, but journalism is also great when done right. But journaling is the best therapy. I totally agree. It is the best therapy, 100%. Atreyu Logan, I just never got the hang of journaling. Not sure what I want and should write. I feel ya. Honestly, I feel ya. I feel very similar in that sense. But again, it's like a good diet. It's like a gym. Maybe at some point something switches in your mind and you just do. My thing is like when you are journaling, you're doing it within yourself. So you don't have to write a book that will be released. You're writing intimate things. So it doesn't need to be ultra complex. It doesn't need to be ultra sophisticated. It needs to be how I feel like. Sometimes it just can be like, I feel overwhelmed. And then from I feel overwhelmed, you go over to I feel overwhelmed because I don't know why it feels like everything is a burden. And then you keep on going. At the end of like after you've written a page, you got me there like, well, what do I even feel so exhausted? Everything is good. So once you express the feelings, once you write down your feelings, you're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna be ready for the evening or ready for the next day. You go sleep like a baby, and the next day a baby that sleeps, because sometimes babies don't sleep, but a baby that can sleep, and next day you're gonna be ready, energized, like you have done a beautiful session of meditation. So wonderful. Alejandro, I was just joking about that. I just found it interesting, funny, because I knew you were referring to journaling. Eric, should keep those scene changes with color as you enter a new topic. It is a good cinematography change. Yeah, that wasn't made on purpose, but it was fun. The best everyday carry, the Parker Jotter ballpoint pen. That's a nice one. We need a more high-end one than the ones that Parker is currently doing. Parker is a brand with a huge story history, in their background. Guys, I would highly recommend morning pages. I've been journaling for almost 2 years, not a single day skipped. Oh, you know what I've done that I think is very, very good. That is, you know, like, we can put that a little bit into I've mentioned it already, but writing down goals. Somehow, I don't know, I connect that to journaling, but probably it's something else. So we're gonna put this into, writing down goals. And with that, writing down goals, but also tracking goals. And I had a book that was called, maybe someone can help me. Uh, that was that. Look, that was I think a 2-page book, and was a thick book for like maybe 3 months, something like that. And there you had very specific questions, very specific things to write down, and it was a very good way how you had your day in under control. With what you were supposed to do, a few goals, not many, but maybe 2, 3 goals, and then a few things of the agenda and how you feel and how you were feeling in the evening and so on. Yeah, the bullet journal method is a very good one, but this was a specific book that somebody created, and I had purchased it from social media. Um, I really don't remember. Creator's Journal? Yeah, I think it was the Creator's Journal. So look that up. The Creator's Journal, no affiliate. Look it up. I think the Creators Journal, that was quite a good one. I stopped. This is one of those things. Is just so stupid. You're doing things, and then you've got business, you've got entrepreneurship, and things are changing, and life's very very hectic, and so on. And you just stop a very good habit that you had. Creators Journal. That's what it was. Yes. So I told you I write my goals down. I really love that. If I don't write my goals down on a piece of paper, that specific thing is not going to happen. Then, this is something that I personally do. When I read, I mark things in a book that I find very interesting. So I read a book, I mark things. And then what I do, I have a book from Smyths, an expensive one, like $180, $200 notebook. And in that specific book, I then have the book next to me. I open it up, and then I put down all those quotes of the book or the learnings of the books, specific of the books. I'm not writing my own thoughts. I'm writing specific sentences of the book that I find very interesting, that I'm like, if I read this in 6 months from now, it's going to be helpful. And it also helps me get back into a specific book that I know I appreciate it a lot. Otherwise, if I start a book and I don't like it, I just don't, you know, don't finish it, and that's it. So with that, I want to tell you that this is something I do that I really appreciate, and I tell you, it has also been helping me a lot, because I open up that book, I go read into my own fountain pen written quotes of those books. I get back into that mentality, which was also, I was reading certain books when I was in a specific mindset of my life, and sometimes I get back into that very good mindset, because if I was reading that book, I was in a good mindset. When you're reading, you're always in a good mindset, and therefore I find this something that I truly truly adore. Actually, I'm gonna make sure that tonight I'm going to go and keep on writing in that notebook, because it's been a few weeks that I haven't done so. So you read a book, you mark your things. Then what I do is I write down the topic, the title of the book on the top, and then I write like page 11, the quote, then page 12, quote, page 12, another quote, page 12, another quote. Then I go, I read, okay, next quote was on page 14, 14. And so first of all, I internalize that subject again by writing it down. One very important thing, I go through it once again, and then I finally have it in my book where I can reread it again. Super super powerful, something that I will definitely be able to give over to my kids. Yes, so that was about the quote book. By the way, good fellas, one very important thing I need to tell you that is, that you can purchase your most favorite beautiful writing instrument from styleofzug.com. Styleofzug.com is based in Switzerland. It's an authorized dealer of the best brands in the world. It has a very curated selection of pens. We ship worldwide. We ship to Saudi Arabia, India, USA, Qatar, Dubai, you name it, everywhere in the world, Singapore, China, Hong Kong, on a daily basis. Pens that are also that have quite a high value. We're expert in that. If you have a question on our website, actually, let me show you that. Give me 1 second. I just want to show that, and then we keep on going. You see, if you're on the website, I just want to make sure that it's that one can see it on. You should be able to see it. Hopefully, let me see. All right. So when you are in, I'm not sure. I think it's still dark, right? Okay. Now, when you are on the website, here on the right, you have this chat. Look, okay, this is track my order. Hello, Style of Zug team. How are you? Oh, this is actually, it's okay. It's happening right where I am on the chat, but here you have this chat. You send this message, you put your name, Samuel, Naldi, Samuel at whatever. Start chat, and look, we get a message. We get a message here on the top. You see? And I'm personally currently not able to answer too many of those personally, but Sarah, Manuel, there's other people who are joining our company in the next month. Great high-end professionals that will be joining Style of Zug, and those people will be in touch with you. They'll make sure that they have that they'll give you the best shopping experience that you can have. We carry a lot of the pens that you see on the website. Actually, all the pens that you see, we have them in stock. We invest into them before we sell them. We do not order pens and then we ship them once you ordered it. So there's a big added value by that, because we're able to dispatch very fast. If there is anything, we'll be in touch with you. You are able to also build a relationship with us as retailers, so that we can make sure that in the future we can also allocate you some of the most desirable and limited editions that are being released by Montblanc, by Elwood, by Graf von Faber-Castell, by Sailor, by Namiki, and so on. So I just wanted to put that down out there. You've seen the website, Style of Zug. You can also be in touch with Sarah via this number. I just want to make sure that I've shared this via WhatsApp. Get in touch with Sarah. She can help you out with anything you might desire. All right? So let's keep on going now. Next way how you can use your pen on a daily basis. This is another way how you're going to make sure that your pen has an impact in your career, in your personal life, and so on. What's a way how people nowadays communicate? WhatsApp. Okay. SMS. Messages. Emails. Instagram DMs. Facebook chat. Snapchat, you name it. What do you think is going to happen if you pull out a nice card and you write, I appreciated your business this year. Looking forward to a great 2026. Samuel. Take the card, put it in an envelope, hand it over, ship it to a business partner of yours, to an employee of yours, to a colleague of yours. What do you think will be the perceived value of you as a human being towards the person that gets such a card? Honestly, it doesn't even matter if you get 100 cards or one cards by one person. Every card feels special because a human being has taken himself the time to select the paper, to fill up his pen, to make sure that the pen works, to write a note, to think about what he's writing, to write it actually by hand, to put it in an envelope, and to make sure that you get it. Not just 4 clicks. Not 4 clicks on your here or in here, but actual efforts from a human being towards another human being. This makes a huge difference in business and in personal life. People will remember you. People will perceive you as a high quality human being, high quality person. Try to do that. Buy 20 cards and put yourself as a goal by end of 2026 to write down how much you appreciated the person working with a person, and then handing it over with a little chocolate or whatever it might be. You'll be the king. You'll be the queen or the king of the room. So this is another way how the investment of a beautiful pen or owning a beautiful collection actually makes sense, and it helps you to give even more value to what you're writing, because you know that this pen has helped you shape your career, has helped you shape your future. Let me look at what you guys are writing. With the expansion of your Style of Zug team, does this mean you will be expanding the locations too? A London store, as an example. Yes. Well, we're working on everything. Give us some time. We want to build great foundations. Okay, we don't want to do things for the sake of doing them. We want to build great foundations, and with the great foundations that we build, then expanding and scaling our business to make sure that this industry can grow in order that it can provide even more value to all of us that are passionate about this beautiful world. And trust me, this is just the beginning. The next year are going to be absolutely insanely amazing. Keep it real. Great to have you here. Piedbua, I'm really happy that this is a great idea, and I'm really happy if I'm giving you some hints. It's very cheap to do, and like inexpensive to do, not cheap. It's high quality to do, but it's very inexpensive. And if you do it, your value will automatically grow in front of everyone. Do it if you have a boss. If you work for someone, do it with your boss. And thank you very much for your support this year. I appreciate it. Bam, signed. Peter, signed. Simon, signed. Alexandra. Trust me, going to make a huge, big difference. Then, next thing. Collect them. Just collect them. Listen, guys, honestly, it's your money. No one has to tell you what you have to do with it. Oh, things are meant to be used. It's none of my business. It's none of his business. It's none of your business that you decide what you do with your collection. Honestly, I have pens that I use on a daily basis. I have pens that I just collect, that I just have there. I'm happy to have them there. And then there's pens that I do not care about having anymore, and I'll try to sell them. But sometimes the sake of collecting is already what it is about. What are you going to do with a painting? You're going to look at it, right? It's a piece of art that you're looking at. Or if you have a pop art item, you look at it. You're proud to own it because you know that it has a certain value, or it's limited, or it has a certain concept. Same thing can be with pens. And the great thing about pens, I've had pens that have been laying around for 40 years. They sold it to us because they weren't using it. You pick them up, they write perfectly. It's not like watches, because if you have a watch that's 40 years old, you'll have to, bring it to a watchmaker, invest 1,000 to 2,000 US dollar in order to make sure that the watch works again, because the oils will have fattened up and so on. It's different with pens, for example. And I think this is something that we need to keep in our mind. And it's just beautiful to own a collection of pens that has a clear structure, a clear line, and sometimes they can even grow in value. There's people who have invested a large amount of money, are sometimes reselling a few pieces of their collection because they want to go into a different direction. They're making out money out of it, or they're getting their money back for what they've paid. Sometimes it's also just about that, and that's how you feel that your collection has a value. So it's not always just about how using, but also about just owning them as pieces of art. And I think that that's something that should be appreciated too. And it's no one's matter if you're using your pens or not. Sometimes I read, oh, I wonder if those pens are all inked. Do you think that someone that has 50 or 100 pens is going to ink all his pens? one is not stupid, I think, right? So some cars, some older cars, you just gonna have them there. For example, some cars you will have to they'll have to be used. Some are becoming museum pieces. And again, with a car, you have the problem. You have to drive a car, otherwise it gets damaged. With a pen, you can leave a pen there, and the pen is like new. If you haven't used it, it's even better, right? So this is a big difference. Um, AP Kilby coming in late. First of all, Megadad 60 coming in late. I'm from Oslo. Oslo, amazing. Great to have you here. No worries. This live stream here will be on our YouTube channel. You can go and rewatch it. By the way, check it out because I think you're going to enjoy it. Tony Brown, good morning. We need a review of the Yardolet notebooks. You are right about that. I'm not the best paper reviewer, but we should do that. You're absolutely correct. Al Jawad, one of my hobbies is collecting old notebooks and manuscripts, some by local celebrities, and they get a kick of touching the lines of writing often made decades ago by those who documented their lives. Love it. Love it. Love it. Totally understand that. It's something that is personally also very important for me. So amazing. I'll tell you, Logan, eyes his 30 inked pens. No comment. I'm not judging. You do as you wish. I wasn't meant to judge someone who inks 30 pens. I also have 10 pens inked. I'm just saying, if you have 50, 100 pens, there's also value in not inking them all at once, or having just 5 inked, and waiting for the other ones, and also deciding if you even want to have them inked or not. So this is all what it is about. Sarin from Romania, great to have you. AP Kilby, I have over 100 pens and they're old inked. Okay, that's good. That's what is beautiful about this passion. Everyone has its own way of looking at it, and every way is correct because it's your own way, and you decide what you do out of your own life. How beautiful is that? Now, next. Yes, I like that next one. I'm sure no one of you would ever come to this one, because as passionate people like you are, you're gonna be like, no, if I do this, then I'll rather do this. What's the next way how you can use, and use doesn't necessarily means like using, but use can mean you can make use of this item for something. Let's see if any one of you comes up with the next way how one can use pens. I'm really wondering. I'll wait for a few replies. Toto, scratch my back. Eric, you and I are the same person. I'm sure about that. Honestly, sometimes. Are we the only ones? Okay, let's see if write a letter. For me, that is part of writing a card. So with writing a card, of course, writing a letter. Sometimes I find writing a letter personally a bit like of an over. No, I'm wrong about that, because there are certain things that one wants to express by writing a letter, and it's absolutely beautiful. Let's see. As a conversation starter, I love it. I haven't mentioned that, but it is but we were talking about it, like wearing it, or by holding it as a doodle. It becomes a conversation starter automatically. A pen is a conversation starter, but definitely great. Oh, I love it. I tell you, Logan, you said fidget spinner. We talked about that. It is, but AP Kilby as a gift. Thanks for mentioning that. I love that we're so connected as a community. We all think alike. Great minds think alike, right? And the AP Kilby said another one that is amazing. So we're going to go into that too. I love it. I love it. This is so much fun and it's so good. AP Kilby said as a gift. And yes, as a gift. Now imagine, I'm not sure if any one of you is into real estate, for example, or car dealership. You're a car salesman. Maybe not if you're selling a Subaru, but nothing against Subaru. But if you're selling, let's say, a high ticket real estate or high ticket car. Imagine you have someone who owns everything. He doesn't need anything. But the gesture of having a pen that you've invested, I don't know, three, four, five, 600, depending on which car they've purchased, and you have the box ready, and you say, "Sir, for this special moment, for your new car, for your new house, for the trust that you've put in us, we wanted to show how grateful we are, and we think that a pen is something with which one can write his own history, and you're writing your own history by purchasing your new house, or you purchasing your car, the car of your dreams. So this is the pen that you can sign your contract with, and we're also very happy to gift you this pen." How many of you like that? How many of you like that? I think that it's one of the most powerful, but yet undervalued things that are not being done right now. Almost no one is thinking about allocating some budget for a deal that is done. So you're making money, but you're making sure that this person will talk about you everywhere. You're not going to be just some random real estate guy. You're not going to be just some random dealership. You're not going to be just some random bank or banker. You're not going to be just some random watch sales guy. No, you're going to be the one who thought about something. And of course, when you do it, you have to celebrate it. You have to give it a meaning. So what you have to do is, like maybe we just did, making sure that someone realizes that you've done this on purpose. It's not just a pen, right? Let's see some feedbacks here. So many of my journals will probably become heirlooms someday, along with my fountain pens. I love it. Are you a space fan? See the space shuttle behind you. Yes, we have in our holding this saying where we say to the moon. We're going to the moon, so we're aiming for the moon, and that's why we have a space shuttle. I love my fountain pens, but lately I want to complement the pens with matching mechanical pencils. I love it. I find sets make a statement. I love that. I don't know about nowadays, but I grew up where the perfect gift to students, especially the gifted ones, were pen sets. Love it. With doing like you said, you're also creating a beautiful memories to by giving something so personal and so special. Exactly. I feel that in the olden days, people gifted pens way more. My father had so many gifted pens and fountain pens that I totally did not steal. Time to make that comeback. I love it. I sell pens to a jeweler who gives them away with certain purchases. The jeweler says every person has been so surprised and appreciative of the gesture. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Of course, they're not giving away an Amiki Emperor Maquier, because those go allocated to people who actually want it and pay for it. But a nice Graf von Faber-Castell engraved, a nice Carandache engraved, a nice Mont Blanc engraved. Gifting a pen is a gesture of great, great value. If you are a business person and are watching this, please take that into consideration. Uh, Let me do, in Italian we say fammi fare una marchetta. Let me do some commercial out of this also, because it wasn't my intention. But if you're interested in that, get in touch with us. I'm gonna put down where you can actually email us. You can email us on info@styleofzug.com or sarah@styleofzug.com, because sometimes people, they're like, "Oh, that's great, but how, where do I start?" Oh, you can go into a Mont Blanc boutique and do it. You can go into a retailer near you and do that, or you can get in touch with us and we're going to help you create this special order for your company, for a gift to your employees. But let's make pens a nice comeback into when it comes to gifting something to someone, because it means so much. And let's also celebrate when we do that handover, because a pen represents so much more than just a gift, and it represents so much more than just an item. Yes, so this was it pretty much. Heirloom. I like that. Pens are heirloom. And guys, I don't know how old you guys are out there. I don't have any kids yet, children yet. But if you have children, please make sure that you show them the beauty, that you let them use them under your observance, how to use those pens. You let them use the pens. Give them a connection. Let them remember you through your pens. That's how they become a heirloom. I see so many people. I don't know if it's greediness or that they just don't know what to do with it. Who just want to sell these collections as soon as their parents pass away. Make sure you talk to your loved ones. Make sure that maybe you already gift one pen to someone, another pen to someone else, and say, I hope this pen will always remember you of myself. I can do that now with 34. This is my gift to you. I hope you will always remember me because you own this pen. I actually need to gift a pen that somebody lost here in the room in the office. I have it at home. I don't know if she's listening or if she has AirPods on. Anyway, um, make sure that people around you understand the beauty of pens so that when you leave a heirloom, it actually is a heirloom and not just something that will be sold in batch. It's against my commercial interest because whenever I get a collection of old pieces that are out of market, easiest one to resell, easiest one. You get relatively good prices. You can resell them quite easily, but that's not what it is about. That's not what it is about. This is something that you should hand over to the next generation. If you've got two kids, then to two kids. If it's one kid, one kid. If it's five kids, you can bring them together and say, okay, this will be yours, 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 and this will be yours, this will be yours, this will be yours. And so this creates memories, this creates attachment, and that's what these beautiful items are all for at the end of the day. Mateus Lopez, for me, a pen isn't only a nice gift, but also represents a freedom of this digital madness we live on. I'm with you. 100% agree. Al Jawad, a colleague of mine, will be retiring soon, and I'm thinking of giving him a nice Namiki. Beautiful. Do that. He's going to be so grateful. Always, again, sorry that I'm insisting, celebrate it, explain him what you're gifting, give him some background information, show him a video that maybe we did so that they understand what they are receiving. This is always very important because just gifting it, you could risk that he takes it beautiful, but I don't want to use it. Help him use the pen, help him make it a daily writer. Maybe gift him a pen, but next to the pen also a nice ink and a nice notebook. This is also another little hint. um Mayank Pahuja. I remember my father once received a fountain pen when he was flying. Not too expensive, but a pretty decent pen. And that's a brilliant gesture. Love it. Adore it. Diallo, any thoughts on handwritten notes after job interviews? Yes or no? How do you mean after job interviews? During job interviews? 100%. I mean, I think we spoke about it, and you can go and rewatch the live stream if you joined a bit later. But handwritten notes during meetings, it's one of the most respectful and also cultural things that one can do with when a human being is in front of him. AP Kilby, I often think of those pens lost to time from the great writers such as Hemingway, Fleming, and think what amazing heirlooms they would have been. I totally agree with you on that. Thanks for mentioning that. Some Shekhar Chatterjee, my Sailor 1911S and I have sailed through quite a few storms. It's a companion, I hope, for a lifetime. This is the slogan for a brand. My sailor and I have sailed through quite a few storms. It's a companion, I think, for a lifetime. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful marketing slogan, I would say. Atreyu Logan, was nice seeing a college at the office use the pen I gave her too, though I need to buy pink ink now to refill it. In South Africa, it's still a very small group that uses fountain pens, especially at work. We're gonna change that. That's why I always say we're changing the game because we're gonna change how people perceive beautiful pens. Trust me, with the help of you guys, and that's why it's together that we're changing the game by gifting, by showing, by explaining, by creating awareness, by sharing these videos also, we help other people understand. So also make sure if you can share some of the videos that you like on this channel with some of the people that you know they could appreciate. Who could appreciate? Someone who appreciates whiskey, someone who appreciates wine, someone who appreciates cars, someone who appreciates watches, someone who appreciates art. There's many people who haven't seen pens yet, but they appreciate other things which take a big craftsmanship. Al Jawad, a few months ago, the pharmacist at my doctor's clinic left to pursue his graduate studies. I gifted him a nice Montblanc Ferrari with a briefcase and a handwritten note thanking him for years of his care. Wow, it's very classy. Congrats, Al Jawad. I love it. I'm here for another few minutes if you guys want to share more things because I think this is being so beautiful, so powerful. I'm truly enjoying this session. I hope you guys are enjoying this session too. I mean, we've been always between 35 and 60 people. This is truly beautiful. Um, let's see if there is anything else. I think we've had a beautiful conversation, good fellas. I think we've had beautiful conversation. For any one of you who has joined late, I think it's beautiful that you get the chance to re-watch this live streaming on our YouTube channel. How would you talk to people that says they're too complicated? Use them. Try show them how it works. It's not complicated. A beautiful mechanical watch is also a bit more complicated, but it's a beautiful mechanical watch. So is a supercar. It's more complicated than having a Volkswagen Golf, but you have a supercar. Same things with pens. You just have to show them the product from the right perspective, from the right point of view, with the right spotlight. How about the upcoming event? Of course, don't forget on the 7th of November, we're going to have an amazing show here on YouTube. 6-hour live streaming starting at 4 p.m. Central European time zone, Zurich time zone. So that's pretty much at 2 p.m. New York time zone up until 10 p.m. Swiss time. 6 hours of streaming with different guests, different topics, showing you pens, conversating with people. It's going to be so much fun. Trust me. I simply cannot wait to start into it and to do that. It's next week on the live streaming. We will be talking about the Fountain Pen Day show. I will be telling you which topics we'll go through, who are the guests who are joining, who are the collectors, who are the special guests, what are the different topics. We're going to look into all of that together. Honestly, I really cannot wait. I really just wanted to say a huge thank you for your sharing your time with us, and thank you for the community for being amazing. I agree. I thank you all for your amazing commitment and for sharing so many amazing ideas. While on the chat, thank you for the collector session. Just love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. I've blocked out my entire day for that event. I appreciate it. Al Jawad, that you cannot wait. I'm very happy about that. Sorin Bottes, thank you very much. Which brand fits to Panerai? We're going to finish with that. With Panerai, I would say the brand that fits best, probably Montegrappa or some Montegrappas. Look into that. Maybe the 1930 series fits very well with the Luminor line or with the Radomir line. Check that out. Good fellas, thank you so much for joining. Watch this episode again if you want on our YouTube channel. Stay tuned for a lot of content that is coming up. And don't forget that together we are changing the game.